This is a poem, and it's called One Day. One day I believe there will come a great change. One day I believe it will not be so strange to see two people greet each other out on the street. With a hug and a gift, though these two people have just met, they will treat each other like friends of many years, and the chance to touch the other's heart will bring tears. One day I believe the cheerful reminders to recycle and conserve will come crashing into focus and will be forced to observe. Beloved things fall into fire, lost to years of ease and desire. The need to have all immediately will be revealed as our greatest fallacy, and thriving, living beings will be sanctioned to the teachings of the History Channel as we sit and watch fellow mammals and animals get written into the annals of an era gone past. One day I believe we will come to realize this before we reach that day. Though it has already begun in many a way, a species leaves existence every 20 minutes, an entire living masterpiece, with an apparent limit of abuse from its neighbor, and to make matters worse, the global temperature rises faster than at any other time in history, and the ice caps melt as the forests don't cease to shrink. But I refuse to belittle my belief. I'd rather die than not to think that we have the strength as a species to fall down upon our knees and realize our role here is not as a parasite, but to find a place by nature's side and contribute to the predetermined cycle rather than try to reinvent our vitals. I believe the day is soon to come that we will see this done. One day I believe the veil of necessity will be lifted from the eyes of the world's population, and the scores and scores of lies, the posters covering every inch of city skies, choking the gutters, trash bins, and buses' sides, preaching wants into needs, causing you to reconsider what's necessary to your existence and survival. The want for comfort becomes a Bible, the Bible becomes a fallback for the lifestyle, born out of needing to keep up with all the latest styles, trends. Popularity defends the wallowing emptiness of the meaninglessness, a constant shadow stalking, haunting every person's consciousness, and feeding on the fear that staying up with the trends and buying to excess and reaching 1,000 friends tends to divert for short lengths until the reaper reaches dividends and upends it all. One day, however, I believe people will realize the greatest way to meet the reaper is as an old friend. One you've met throughout your life again and again. One that you've sat and had long conversations with. One that you've toyed with, daring it to take you by the hand to the unbeknownst land. A friend you know well and are comfortable having follow you through your adventures in this waking hollow. Not one ignored until the moment comes to be taken away. One day I believe the need for violence in this world will be recognized as how it truly unfolds, a want, not a need. Too often is it decreed that violence is necessary and a part of the human nature, when in truth it is constantly in reaction to danger, born of either fear or anger. It is never without a cause, and it is always an effect, which in effect defines it as a defect, a defense that lies within but has no need to emerge forthwith. One always has the choice to allow it a voice, but in the end it is still a choice granted to us all. One day I believe the human psyche will encounter a revolution, just as other aspects of human behavior have undergone alteration, and see more than a one-sided view of the universe, a peephole into this existence, clouded by a singular purpose, to satisfy one's own desire. Instead, set the mind on fire, incorporate the peepholes of those around into the daily life, and see a mural of the world blend and ignite. The perspective of one will become that of multiple, and the thoughts of others will become deductible. A greater picture of the earth becomes constructible, disagreements and alternate views become destructible. But only if one chooses to see outside of their peephole, allow the tiny opinions of their tiny pinhole, become a collage of understanding, perspective, and knowledge threefold. New colors introduced, new feelings aroused, and all of this simply by expanding past the fear and the doubt of viewing life out of the eyes of another, which, believe me, is possibly the most vital step to our progression towards brothers, mothers, lovers, sisters, fathers, people. One day I believe I will relearn what it is like to sit under a starry sky early at night and marvel at every other star that came into light, for each was new to me, such a brilliant spinning testament of possibility, blinking so distantly out in the night sky before me. One day I believe I will remember the feeling of walking through a field and breathing, rejoicing at the softness of the grass beneath me, the sound of the life around me, the movement of the wind and the water surrounding, a steady pounding, ricocheting and rebounding within my head, my own heart bounding, nearly leaving my chest simply because of the life that I saw, the time it took all to get here, including myself, the incredibleness that is my body of flesh and bone, the awesome power that is the heat hitting me from the sun that shone millions of miles away, lighting up this paradise, this metropolis of life, an oasis of existence, the mere fact that below me ants were on the ground moving, plants were bursting from a ground seemingly unmoving, but teeming with the raw fabric that is sheer luck of me landing upon this earth and being here to write down these words and speak them to you through a mic, so that they may trigger electricity within your brain, feel thoughts within begin to ignite, and maybe you will have a catharsis, the same, realize realize that within your mind and your body's fine lines is the energy so mysterious and alive to let your eardrums rattle, your breath battle, your fingers feel, your eyes observe, your nose smell. All is beyond the human capacity to incorporate into understanding, so I'll simply wait for this time to pass, haul my ass while I wait the beauty of the world to reamass within my heart and remind me of its sweet, sweet scent. One day, my friends, I believe there will come a great change. We just have to be ready for it.